this is a base case. I think there are downside and upside risks to this. But so far, we are already starting to see some signs of activity falter and some of the high-frequency things we track, things like our own card spending data, a variety of other daily measures are showing a little bit of softening here in early to mid-November. And we do think there's a risk that Thanksgiving could essentially be a super spreader event, so that as we get into mid-December, we could see case counts increase further, which will weigh on activity in the holiday season. And I think while there surely will be a lot of online spending to take the place of brick and mortar spending, that won't help service providers, things like restaurants and so forth. So we do think some of the consumer service categories could falter here as we turn the year. Of course, nothing like what we saw. Nothing like what we saw in the spring. Of course, I think we have learned many ways the economy can operate alongside the virus much better than we did in the spring. Nonetheless, to get a modest contraction, it only takes a pretty small deviation here in activity, particularly as we head into the holiday season.
So, Mike, how unusual is this to go from, and again, everything is different with the pandemic, but it's just interesting to me that when we start to get these negative growth forecasts, the market's totally shrugging it off. I mean, does it make sense to you that investors are just saying, we're just looking past this, we're looking to the vaccine? I hear people using the term boom now. That's Mike Darda over at MKM. He says next year could be an economic boom. So is the first quarter one step back with potentially a big leap forward to come?
Essentially, yes. I don't disagree with that view. And we recently revised up our views on second and third quarter growth, in part because we have increased confidence that the vaccine will be broadly available by the end of the third quarter. We also are feeling moderately more confident that we will get some further fiscal stimulus next year. So, to be sure, and maybe I should have clarified that in response to your first question, this is a temporary faltering we're looking for around the turn of the year. And we do think as we get to the spring that things are looking up quite a bit, again, mostly because of the vaccine and the good news we've had there, but also because of some increased hopes on fiscal stimulus. So to the extent markets are forward-looking, I think it is appropriate to a certain degree, of course, to shrug off the near-term news and focus on the longer-term outlook. And the longer-term outlook is improving. I have I agree with that entirely.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.